There's only one place to start, if truth be told, Dom, and that's with the kids, the youngsters, the academy lads, and just there's a few things we need to touch upon. In terms of the starting 11, I mean, realistically, you could easily sort of overlook Conor Bradley and Joel Quansah when I name these lads now, but because they've been what feels like they've been around for ages, but they very much haven't. They are still very, very young themselves and academy graduates. But yeah, Conor Bradley, Joel Quansah in the starting lineup, along with Bobby Clark, James McConnell, Lewis Koumas as well, and you could even throw Harvey Elliott into that conversation. Obviously Jayden Danns comes off the bench, Trey and Yanni likewise. So this was Kate Gordon as well. This was very much a performance inspired by the academy, and when you consider the goal scorers, obviously Lewis Koumas on his debut gets his first goal, gets us underway. Jayden Danns comes on second half. We'll speak about the individual performances more a bit later on, certainly in the player rating show, but what a night. We were so pleased with what happened on Sunday, obviously the Carabao Cup win, but how the kids helped inspire that and how important they were in getting over the line in that victory. But tonight's that and some, because as much as the kids were influential on the weekend, it was Kostas Tsimikas and Virgil van Dijk that combined for the goal. They're the ones who actually got us over the line, if you like. But tonight, it's Bobby Clark into Lewis Koumas for the opening goal. Then it's Harvey Elliott into Jayden Danns for that first of his. And then it's Jayden Danns on the follow-up. So what a remarkable night's work. And we're all obviously sad about Jurgen Klopp leaving and stuff like that, and it's a sickener, it's a gutter. Everyone's heartbroken by it. Like, whatever comes next won't be Jurgen Klopp, so that's really disappointing. But when we talk about managers leaving us in a better place, like Jurgen Klopp is leaving us in the best possible place, not only in terms of the out-and-out first teamers, and whatever happens between now and the end of the season will be in a good place squad-wise, but when you look at the academy as well, it's not all just down to him, of course. It's Alex Inglethorpe, it's Vito Massart, it's the people in behind the scenes as well, but we are in a rich place right now.
Oh, most definitely, and I think they've proved a lot of people wrong, not only fans of opposition teams, but the confidence that these kids have got coming into this team. They don't look out of place. I think that's the best thing you can say about them. They're coming into the side and you'd never know that they hadn't played the game before. Young Lewis Koumas tonight, the confidence from him, and Southampton are no mugs. They showed that in the first half. They're a really good side, and wouldn't surprise me if we see them in the Premier League next season again on the weekend in the Carabao Cup. The players that are on the pitch, like Jurgen said, people thought we were throwing it away and we weren't. We needed legs. What they're doing, it's unbelievable, to be honest with you. But no matter who it is that comes on, you've got complete faith in them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's Klopp's influence. His fingerprints are all over the academy. They're all over the style of play. They're all over these footballers that are coming through now. I mean, you can see that in the way they play. They've got this confidence about them. Yeah. His influence is omnipresent across the entirety of Liverpool Football Club, and thank God it is, because it's because of that these academy kids do come into the team and they feel 10 foot tall. You can see it already. Jurgen Klopp's always had that ability to make people feel extra special. Like, without naming names, we've had some good footballers who he's made look world class. Yeah. He's got the best out of people time and time again, and even though they might not go on to achieve what they possibly could have at Liverpool during their time at Liverpool, we've seen it with Divock Origi. He's a prime example of this. Yeah. Like, Divock Origi is a very good footballer, of course he is. He's gone to AC Milan, hasn't worked. He's now at Nottingham Forest, and for all intents and purposes, it's not really working. When he's at Liverpool, every time he got on the pitch at Liverpool, something happened. Yeah. Now, that's not just Divock Origi having this aura and this presence. There's a little bit of that, but a lot of that is Jurgen Klopp making Divock Origi have impacts on games of football. And we're seeing it now with the academy lads. Like, they're coming in, and they're not coming in from the cold, because they are very talented, all of them, and they're not a million miles away clearly in terms of their level, but to come in and to make your debut in Koumas' case, to be 2 games into your senior Liverpool career in Jayden Danns' case, and not look out of place and not look fazed by it, that's remarkable.
When you look at them, you think, where are your nerves?
Yeah,
exactly. Just imagine that feeling of going onto the pitch tonight, and obviously Wembley, 90,000 people tonight, and then of 60,000 people, and they're going onto that pitch and not one of them looks nervous. I just don't get it. And like
I
you
can't
said,
understand that myself.
There's a Klopp effect on these players, of course there is. He's putting so much confidence in them. They feel 10 feet tall. It's a bit like Space Jam, they're like the monsters. They've just got every bit of talent you could think of. Honestly, I'm running out of words for them. It's the amount, we're speaking about them more than we're talking about first team players.
Yeah, and rightly so, especially tonight, obviously, but rightly so, because you don't take it for granted, but it is expected of your Virgil van Dijk, Banatos, etc., to be sort of the leading statesman in these type of games, especially when there is kids in and around them. But it's the kids that are stealing the show. That's the thing. That's the most exciting thing about all this. And again, you know, we're going to praise a lot of Jurgen Klopp. We need to remember Alex Inglethorpe's influence in all of this as well, and Barry Lutis, Mark Wilkinson, their respective managers. They're clearly having very, very positive impacts on these players and their careers. But they're fledgling. They're still so young. In Trey and Yanni's case, he comes on tonight. Like, I'm not being funny, and I'm no disrespect to Trey and Yanni, and I've seen him play a lot, by the way, and he's a very, very talented young lad, but he is a lad. Like, we often say, they've got school in the morning. Trey and Yanni could comfortably have school in the morning, and nobody would bat an eyelid.
Year 7 as well.
Yeah, if I drove here in the morning to work and I seen him on the side of the road waiting for the bus to school, I wouldn't bat an eyelid. You know what I mean? I wouldn't look over and go, God, he's too old. I'd be like, oh yeah, that's perfectly fine. You know what I mean? And he's just come on in front of 60-odd thousand at Anfield against Southampton in the FA Cup, and as you rightly say, Southampton no mugs, very much promotion chasers in the Championship, could well get there. Russell Martin, we just heard his press conference there, fuming with their results, so he came tonight looking to get something from this and try and put up a fight, which I think they did for the most part, but Liverpool beat them comfortably in the end. But not just that, Liverpool's kids beat them comfortably in the end. Like, it's incredible, isn't it? Just how we're running out of superlatives for how incredible these lads are, but we all want the first team back as quickly as possible, but this has proven now, this 2-3 week period has proven that no matter what happens between now and the end of the season, we are in such a healthy position moving forwards.
Definitely, and I think something not long ago when Matip had his injury and Quanta come out and said, I'm here to take his place, it didn't go down well for everyone, but that's the attitude these players need to have, that mindset for these young lads, knowing that they can come into their side and do the job, not only do the job, run the show. We've just had kids there absolutely running rings around Championship, Premier League players, some of them, by the way, and we don't bat an eyelid anymore. It's crazy, but you know, long may it continue, because we've got the foundations in place from 12s up into 18s to 21s in the academy. Now they're playing from the off in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. And like I said, what Jurgen has done and what the academy guys have done is just hats off to them. Yeah, the future is remarkably bright. There's no two ways about that. We'll dive into the game itself in a little bit more detail now. Liverpool started off. I thought Southampton started the game really well, to be fair. Looked like we couldn't really settle, I think it's fair to say. And again, there's no disrespect to anyone on the pitch. You're just maybe a little bit disjointed. Joe Gomez in a new position. Never really had a traditional right back in any sense. Conor Bradley was trying to. That was also trying to do a right wing job. It was all a little bit frantic over that side. But I think what I would say sort of the standout moments from the first 25 minutes were all Keith Kellerher related. There's one which is offside, so probably wasn't come to anything anyway. But Kellerher was brilliant again. Yeah, the moments he's coming up with in these last couple of games, you know, you can see when a keeper or somebody hasn't played for so long that it takes them a couple of games or 2 or 3 games, and you know, he's come in and the saves he's made in these last 2 games have been incredible. Like tonight in that first half, it won't get many plaudits that, because it's just an FA Cup game. It's against Southampton. He should have finished, blah blah blah. What a save that was with his left arm. You know, we can go 1-0 behind there. The pressure's on. The kids, how did they deal with it? Did they get another one quickly? Because Southampton were coming for us. And rightly so, by the way. They should be. But yeah, brilliant. He stood up tall. He's another one. The best number 2 in the world, as Jurgen says. And you just can't argue with that with these performances, can you?
No, far from it, mate. Absolutely brilliant once again. Liverpool get the lead shortly before half-time. And as we've touched upon earlier on, this was very much made in the AXA, this one. Bobby Clark does really well. First touch takes it away from the midfielder, gets himself his space. Decision to pass into Koumas is really good, and it gets a deflection, from Koumas. What he does well initially is gets himself half a yard to let fly. And I guess we just heard before we come in on air then about Klopp saying to Lewis Koumas, the goals are the same size, so you get your opportunity, you're a really good finisher, take your chance, and that's what he does. And like I say, he gets a little bit of good fortune with the deflection, but his thinking and his ambition to go for it is really positive.
Well, that's it, isn't it? He's banging goals in left, right and centre for the youth, so why not do the same thing in the first team? But the thing is, like we've mentioned and we've touched on it a couple of times, it's so easy for these young lads to come into the first team and play it safe.
Yeah, absolutely.
And none of them seem to be doing that.
Shackles
They're playing with every confidence in the world. You know, on another day, that goes wide, or he saves it, or deflection, it goes in. Everything's going for us at the minute.
It is, yeah. And that's it. I said on air during the watch along, like, you know, you buy a ticket, you take a chance.
That's
You know
it.
what I mean, if you
You don't
don't
shoot, you don't score, do you?
exactly. Yeah, who knows? Yeah, and credit to, and I thought he did really well actually while he was on the pitch. To be fair, there was Koumas. He
Direct.
showed, yeah, a couple of nice little touches in around the box, and he's got that. He's very, very technically gifted. Big fan. Doesn't pass the ball like his owl fella, but he's still decent.